I don't feel like I should be looking at you this much. You know what I mean? Like I know you're the hero. I feel like you deserve like one of those like 70s cheesy movies. Detective Tiana Taylor doesn't take shit from anyone. You bad cop, bam. You criminal, bam, bam. Aloha, fans of movies, weirdos, dorks, other people like me. Welcome to New Movie Tuesdays. Usually it's because of the $5 Tuesday deal, but lately, look, I've been very broke. I haven't had the ability to go out, so I've been watching stuff online. And I just saw the movie Straw, Tyler Perry's latest film, starring Taraji B. Henson, Tiana Taylor, Sherry Shepard, Raymond Dunbar. Oh no, sorry, Rockman Dunbar, and Glenn Turman. Really great cast, really awesome movie, tension filled from beginning mostly to the end. I'd say this was an awesome experience. For those who don't know, a woman, a single mother, has a serious mental breakdown. It's the worst. It's one of those worst days of your lives where everything has gone wrong, and she finds herself in a bank, inadvertently robbing it, not intending to rob it, but it has become this gigantic situation where there's police, SWAT, the bomb squad. Everyone's scared and no one knows what's going on. And even she is not realizing what she's doing because this whole movie she's just had the last straw. And I love it. This was a really awesome movie. For those of you who have seen Dog Day Afternoon, there's some parallels there. Dog Day Afternoon was an incredible movie with Al Pacino where he was also trying to rob a bank, but in his case, he was definitely robbing the bank. But in the case of this movie, this is Taraji. I hope I'm saying your name right. Taraji P Henson plays a single mother who she's being evicted. She's losing her job. She gets in a horrible car accident, and everything just in her life spirals out of control so fast that essentially she snaps. She has a complete snap, and before she knows it, she's in a bank, and all she's trying to do is cash her check. But because she's holding the gun in her hand, now she's looked at as robbing the bank, and it's out of control. It's out of hand, and I gotta say, it's a really impressive movie. I do think it could have been 5 to 10 minutes shorter. I think there's a really great reveal at the end that bought it back. Because I have to say, for the first hour and 10 minutes, the movie's like pretty much flawless, and I'm so bought in with the tension. I'm like, I don't, I mean, these things happen out of your control. I get how you got here, but I don't know how you're gonna get out. Like, there's no way out of this that's not going to include at least some jail time because you did do certain things, even though you were pushed here. And at the same time, there's certain characters who are looking to just take you out anyway. I don't know how you're going to get out of this. And I gotta say, I love this actress. She's been in so many movies. I first saw her where I knew I saw her in the movie Hustle and Flow. I was in a teenage paid training program where they train teenagers how to become videographers, and they gave us a free screening. It was really an incredible movie. That's also where I first saw Terrence Howard, who was only a few years later in Iron Man. She was in Smoking Aces, Four Brothers. I didn't even realize she was in Meet the Fockers, and I haven't watched House. Everyone tells me House is great, but she was in that too. This is just one of those actresses where every time you see her, she delivers so much so well. It's like, I know you. I know it's you. I know you're gonna do great. I'm you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's whether it's straight up crying or just that little teary eye that makes you go, oh, don't cry. No, 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 don't cry. And she's fantastic and she's excellent in this movie. I mean, this is like I think this is her Dog Day Afternoon. You know, this is her epic movie where it's like, oh my god, like again, for the first hour and 10 minutes, I thought this movie should be in theaters. But there's a little subplot with a particular police officer who, and we don't know necessarily if he's racist, but he definitely has a bad encounter with her, and he's absolutely just an evil dude. You know what I mean? Like whatever he is, he's evil, and that's part of the fear that keeps her from surrendering to the cops because she knows he's out to get her. And so this this is just one of those. I don't want to spoil how it happens or how she gets out of it, but it's just one of those situations where it's like I don't know how you'll get out of this. But unfortunately, that is one of the subplots that's just like okay, there's just one too many scenes for this subplot where it's just like okay, just deal with it. This is just being dragged on. There's a couple literally after the first hour and 10 minutes there's a just 5 to 10 minutes I'm like if you just trim this out, it's not really needed, especially when you get to the end. I just feel like the power of the relationships that build because Tayana, I hope I'm saying your name right as well, Tayana Taylor, I couldn't find as much on her for movies that she's been in, but she was in Coming to America. She was excellent as the lead detective, although she was just like stunningly beautiful. It's kind of like we're in this very real, like down to earth, gritty movie where this woman is living in an apartment complex or a studio complex, and it's in a rough part of town, and going to she works at a store where all the customers are very rough with her, and it's just and even her boss is terrible. But then once things get out of hand and the detectives and police are involved, we have like this very attractive lead detective and her police officer partner, and it just looks like straight up a comic book. Like she looks drawn out of a comic book for how it's like Detective Tayana Taylor is on the case. I really felt like, and it wasn't too distracting, but it was a little bit distracting. I was like, I don't feel like I should be looking at you this much. You know what I mean? Like I know you're the hero. I don't feel like I should be looking at you this much. I feel like you deserve like one of those like 70s cheesy movies. Detective Tiana Taylor doesn't take shit from anyone. You bad cop, bam. You criminal, bam, bam. From the creator of Charlie's Angels, Detective Tiana Taylor. Like that's how good she looks. It's just it's like it's not too distracting, but it does feel like who is this comic book character, man? Like she looks too good, but I don't mind it. But it's like wow, okay. But I really like her character. I think there's how she gets into connecting with Taraji's character is really nice. And what's interesting is I'm so into podcasts now. It's almost half the reason I don't watch as many movies as I used to. I'm really loving hearing real stories from people. And one of the people I've been listening to is this former Secret Service agent called, her name is Evie Pamporas. She started the Secret Service in New York and was experienced 9/11 firsthand. And she was one of the Secret Service's interrogation specialists. And in essence, what Tayana Taylor does in order to connect with Taraji, and God, I hope I'm saying your names right, but to connect with her is she talks to her very calmly, because you see everyone else is all men and they're all tough guys and they just want to talk tough. And even in the bank, where now it becomes this huge hostage situation, there's a big tough guy, and then even some of the women want to talk tough and be all mean to her. And understandably, you're in this situation you don't want to be in, but you realize how it only accelerates the situation and starts gunfire and gets people in more danger. You know what I mean? Whereas like the way Tiana Taylor's character approached talking to her was very calm, very respectful, and just asking what's going on, what's her story, which is very consistent with what with what I saw from Evie Pomporis, she was like, you know, if you're a detective and you're going into a situation and you've already judged the person that you're trying to arrest or you're trying to convict for a crime, then you're not going to get any more information out of them because they'll just stonewall you because clearly you have no respect for them and aren't going to treat them right, which may be something that has led them to this place in the first place. So, and what she would say is, it's like you don't have to agree with the things they've done if they've done terrible things, but you have to be open just listening to their stories so that you can either find out information if anyone else might be in danger, or at the very least de-escalate a situation or get a confession, whatever it may be. You want to just get the information because you can't prosecute or let the person go unless you actually have the appropriate information from them. So I really liked that. Was very consistent with stuff I've literally just been watching about. And they even have the negotiator come in who's like, I know the term token black guy, but this one felt like the token white guy. I was like, he just comes in, and again, he seems like mild, kind of like attractive. He seems like he's part of the detective, the detective Taylor, Tana Taylor show. Like, and she has a burgeoning love interest with the negotiator. You know, you're doing everything right. Thank you. Because that's all he says. When the tough chief, Rockman Dunbar, he was in Prison Break, amongst many other things. Everyone has lots of credits in this movie. When he's like, I don't think you should be in charge, woman. But the negotiator's like, she's doing everything right. That's his only lines. Both of them have the same 3 lines in this movie. She's doing everything right. And the chief, come with me. Talk to me over here. Like, you will hear them say these are their catchphrases. These are their character lines. He's just you'll see. I wouldn't call it a drinking game, but maybe Jello shots. Maybe it's a Jello shot game, non-alcoholic. But yeah, so and Sherry Shepherd's excellent. She plays the is it a bank manager? She's in charge of the bank. She's from The View, How I Met Your Mother, Precious, Transformers, apparently Madagascar too. Again, another person with tons of credits. She was wonderful. She was she excellently towed that line of just a regular person who is freaked out, but also a compassionate person with a heart who wants the right thing to be done, and does help to make sure if there's a possibility for things to work out, she does everything she can, and I really liked how she played it. I think this is a really solid cast. Just the intensity of the storyline and the emotion, and like I said, if you just cut out, because there's just that 5 to 10 minute section. I know for some reason this is like a 6 point movie, or it was a 5.6 or 6 point movie. I don't really care for Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb scores. It's not how I judge things. If I want to watch it, I just watch it. And what got me interested in this movie are the clips that Netflix chose, where you just see Taraji Henson just in this crazy nut state of mind. But it's just so engaging. You're like, you want to know, why are you like this? What put you here? And I compare this to Dog Day Afternoon because it essentially is very similar. But I do think it's a fair comparison, because if you take a clip out of Dog Day Afternoon and you see Al Pacino's speech about how crazy life has made him, or you see any of his scenes where you realize he's doing something bad, but he is a sympathetic person. And that's what Taraji Henson's doing to a 10, or maybe to 11 in certain scenes. And although I'm not always a fan of it, they do a particular cutting style in this movie where she'll start screaming in a speech, and then all of a sudden it'll start cutting out of that, and you'll just see her covering her face and freaking out without words, but then you'll hear her speech or monologue go on, and it's kind of like this great kind of subjective style of editing that kind of lets you know just how much she has snapped, and she's just so gone. Because what brings her to this point, it feels real. I buy how it happens. And then again, like, the twist is, it's nuts. It's And they managed to, they managed to let you have your cake and eat it too, because another subplot of this movie is the FBI showing up, because this whole movie, Taraji Henson's character, she's just trying to get money to give her daughter for school, but she's carrying with her her daughter's backpack, which has a science project in it, and up front it's not a weapon, but everyone thinks it's a bomb. So that's partly why the FBI shows up. Like, we got the bomb squad here, we got the SWAT, we have SWAT here. This is now an FBI situation. So you get all this crazy buildup, but and how it ends, it gives you a little bit of everything that you would expect from these subplots. But I would say I don't care so much about the FBI character. I felt like, look, I've seen Die Hard, and you're kind of just doing the Die Hard again. It's Johnson and Johnson, except it's just one Johnson, and you already have the evil cop on the outside. I think the subplots take away from the most interesting drama, which is, I want to see if Taraji Henson's going to end up confronting that cop or not. But because we spend so much time with these other characters, including the negotiator, she's doing everything right. Thanks, guy. Token white guy. Can we hashtag that one? The token white guy in this movie. Oh, Sinbad's in this movie. I did not even recognize him. But it's one of those nice little character threads, And yeah, it's just it's crazy, because I just saw Heat, and that's a movie about cops and robbers. But that's a movie that lets you know both their stories, so you totally understand why both people are into it. And insanely, by the end of the movie, like, you feel something for everybody, or at least I did. And so, having watched that, and now watching this, which is totally an update of Dog Day Afternoon, I'm like, oh, you got me again, man. You got me again. Because now, even though it's cops and robbers, even Detective Tiana Taylor, even she's got a story of her own, which is not. You'll see how it happens in the movie, but I like how it comes out, because you recognize that although she has a character history that makes sense why she's a good person to talk to Taraji over the phone and try to make things work out, impressing the negotiator, which I really want this romance to happen. I think lose the FBI guy, make a romance. I want a romance here. I want a scene of them smoking together. Oh, people don't smoke in movies anymore. I want a scene of them having a popsicle together. What do people have when you don't smoke in the movies anymore? I don't know. Looking at Instagram videos, something. Give them a romance angle, and let's beef up that evil guy. We don't need some of these side characters, but we need more of that evil cop that Taraji Henson's scared of. If those two things were done, I think this movie would have a higher rating, because it's so important to the movie up front. But again, there's so many side characters. But I think if you watch this and those things do bother you, if you can just stick it to the end, and I think the ending's really good. I think the ending's worth getting to, even though they add a few too many characters, which diminishes the power of the stuff that really works in the movie. Because, like I said, first hour and 10 minutes, movie's winning. I don't need anything removed. But just that last 30 minutes, or that last 45 minutes, whatever it is, it needs something cut out, and it needs either something else added in, or just cut out the stuff we don't need. There's even one little speech from Taraji I don't think that we need, but what Sherry says to her afterward, we could have just started there and cut out the previous 10 minutes of the movie, and we'd really have like a perfect experience for the audience. I think if there's any reason why I think the movie is not as high rated as it should be, I would say it's probably that. It's just it feels a little long, and when we get into the subplots, it goes from a really gritty real movie to a kind of TV show. That's kind of how it feels because it's just too much. It's like it makes a subplot that's already a subplot feel like a third subplot. You know what I mean? I was like, no, 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 don't make me think about this. Just cut that out. Cut that out. Go to the next scene. Go to the next scene. We don't even need this scene. A real movie cuts that stuff out. So, but yeah, I would say all that being said, I was really down for the whole experience, and even with my criticisms, man, I like this movie. I was happy with the ending, even though it's man, it's not the ending you want. You know what I mean? But it does feel like the right ending. You know, as I think that's it's a little bit of reality and a little bit of what you want and don't want at the same time. You know what I mean? Which is what reality is. It's that messed up little gray area that we all, when we really live in the real world, we have no choice but to accept. And so, also, you know, look, I'm never gonna know what it's like to be black or a black woman, but do. Uh, I do feel for her being a single mom and wearing all of that. My mother was a single mom with my older sister before she met my dad. My I know two people who are single mothers, and it's no joke what a struggle it is. I've helped out both of them, and it's like you can only do so much, but you know that feeling that they go through just being a single mom by itself is such a strain, and then what life hits you with, you know. But you know, we all do the best we can. Fortunately for one of them, they have family around them to support, and for the other one, I am there right now to support her. So, you know, we all do our best, but that's in many ways the reason I showed up to support the other person who's a dear friend of mine, is exactly what this character's going through, because I didn't want her to have to go through that, and I knew for sure, like, if I don't come out and help you, this may be something that happens to you, because I know that it happens to people every day, you know. So on a personal level, it does mean something to me that here's a character who feels all alone and feels like no one can help her, and actually, in fact, no one is helping her. You know what I mean? And it takes everything going to these extreme lengths for her to finally find some sense of support, and it's only because she's holding people at gunpoint, which is, again, like Dog Day Afternoon. That's what Al Pacino was feeling. So that's why I think this is a powerful bit of movie, because it's a little Hollywood, a little real, you know what I mean? And yeah, I appreciate it. I think it's a solid picture. Actually, this is my first movie watching from Tyler Perry. 6888 does look good. I was never interested in the Medeas because I already saw Big Mama's House and Fat Bastard and White Chicks or whatever. I've already seen these movies where people transform into someone else, and Mrs. Doubtfire, another man turning into a large woman. You know what I mean? For family values and all that stuff. So I was just like, by the time it came to Medea, I was like, I've seen enough. I already saw Big Mama's House too. Also, I gave it 2 tries, man. All right, I won't watch Norbit. I'm just tired of people in fat suits now. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't care for Penguin. What? Another person in a fat suit? As a fat person, I'm offended. No, but really, no, I haven't really caught his movies, but this one was undeniable. It's like it totally was something I could immediately catch and identify with, and I really was engaged by Taraji Henson's performance. I thought she's amazing, and I'm glad I caught it. So I'll try to check out some other Tyler Perry stuff. I think 688 probably, because that looked really cool. Uh, Generally, I don't even watch crime movies, but it's just if it looks interesting to me, I'm gonna dive into it. 688 looks cool, so I'll probably check that out at some point. But I gotta hand it to Tyler Perry, man. Like I love his story. He was homeless, and then he became, this. Then he got into movies, and now he has the studios, and he's been making stuff for years. I think that's such a cool, awesome story. J.K. Rowling, she was homeless when she was homeless and had a kid. She was literally a single mother when she wrote Harry Potter, and so I'm just like very impressed with people who can come from the lowest low and make it all the way to the top. So I just got a shout out to Tyler Perry for that, because I heard his story long before ever seeing his movies, and I just, yeah, you gotta have some props for that, man. It's really it's something. It's something to be said to be doing that. So that's a real American story right there. That's something. But yeah, so that being said, I really enjoyed Straw. I hope I didn't spoil too much of it, but I do think the things I mentioned, you'll probably catch yourself and go, yeah, he's right. Yeah, like that's exactly how I feel. But I'm serious, okay? Tyler Perry, if you make a 70s style, whether it's black exploitation or just goofy ass 70s style detective movie. I've always loved the opening of Beavis and Butthead Do America, where you see Beavis and Butthead in that 70s style, two two bad detectives. They're out to fight crime. Beavis and Butthead. If you do something like that with Teyana Taylor and that negotiator, I swear I will watch it. You just get that exact cast, because they're perfect. The exact cast of Teyana Taylor, her partner, the negotiator, and the chief. You get those exact four guys. You can even just keep bringing in the FBI guy to be the needless Johnson, Die Hard Johnson. It literally just change his name to Die Hard Johnson, and no one's going to care. That's what his character is. It's John Die Hard Johnson. I'm coming in to take over. No, Detective Taylor has it. And every time the negotiator steps in, she's doing everything right. Will they? Won't they? I'd like to take you to coffee. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. Green. She doesn't drink coffee. She's gonna get all the bad guys. I don't know. If you make that movie, I will watch it. I will watch it. You put Medea in it, I'll get over my phobia of actors being in fat suits for you. Okay? All right? Okay? Because nobody did it better than Eddie Murphy and Robin Williams. I just don't think anybody did it better. You know what I mean? And I know I mentioned white chicks, but it's just a transformation movie where you wearing someone else in a suit, but specifically fat people. Nobody did it better than Eddie Murphy or Robin Williams. So I will get over my phobia of actors in fat suits. If you can put Medea in it, so Medea can be her mom. I don't care, or her grandma, whatever the case is. I don't care. I'll get over it just to see the 70s style. Detective Taylor. You a bad fool. You're gonna get blown away. She's doing everything right. Okay, that's my thoughts on Straw. I hope you like it. I hope you go see it, and please let me know in the comments if you liked it. And please, if you watch it and you saw the things that I also thought were unnecessary, and if you also wanted a little more of some of those other scenes, hey, please let me know. And also, please tell me your favorite stuff. Tell me, should I check out 688? Because that looks cool to me. I'm just more of a fan of action. That's more my thing. But of course, if it looks engaging, like that's number one to me. Like usually watch crime movies or serious stuff. I just like superheroes and sci-fi and goofy shit. So if you got any recommendations from the Tyler Perry movies, please let me know. I check out things when I can. This is New Movie Tuesdays. I'm just trying to watch the new stuff, but I'm thinking about making another podcast for older movies. I was thinking old frickin' movies, old AF movies. I don't know if these things are used. I have to Google it first, but yeah, so if it's an older movie and you got a recommendation or user recommendation, I'm thinking about some kind of other podcast where I can watch older stuff. So if you got any recommendations, and if I really like it, I'll talk about it. But yeah, please let me know if you liked the movie number one. And that's what I got to say. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please hashtag Detective Taylor. Okay, hashtag we want Detective Taylor, the 70s exploitation action movie, because I want that. And maybe a collaboration like with Mike Judge or someone. just make sure that you reach maximum cheesiness. I would be down for that. Frickin' Doom Patrol did the same thing with Cyborg and Robot Man, where they did just a little gag. And I was like, please give me that. I will watch that over this. It looks fun. I want to have fun. I think people could use some fun these days. But anyway, that's my word. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.